There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall. I'm falling fast, sitting here praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap, I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks, listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast, don't remember life before you, that's fact. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall.
And here, wait for it. There we are. Well, Sean, what's going on? We've got Umberto decided to man up this week and be actually be first, just as it says it is moniker. Hey,
Finally.
Umberto, how's it going, man? And Brian's here. What's going on, Brian? Glad to have you guys. You party people, you. Happy Saturday evening. And so, Sean, I think you should start off by telling us your new, the new context of which you now reside.
I now reside in Iowa.
Iowa. That's mind blowing. It probably still feels surreal for you, also.
Yeah,
The mobile detail shop. Welcome, man.
Yeah, feels like a dream.
Yeah, I bet.
Or
I mean,
or a nightmare. Well, you're someone new here.
Nightbot. Yeah. I wonder if he really is a bot or if he's human. Are you a humanoid or are you a bot? Are you a digital bot? So yeah, like I said a couple weeks ago, when you first floated the idea that you were gonna, well, you and I had been talking about it, but you floated it to the audience that you're moving to Iowa. Yeah, right. Umberto,
Yeah.
Iowa? Question mark. Like,
Yeah.
who? There's a sentence I've never heard out of anyone's mouth. Hey, by the way, I'm moving to Iowa. Said no one ever, except Sean. Sean, tell us why you're in Iowa.
New job.
New job.
Yeah.
I wonder what people think. I know we've talked about it, but with these live streams or just videos of, of lengthy videos, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to tune in for the whole video. Never mind that you're paying attention for the whole video. So we've discussed it a little bit, but I wonder what people think you actually do for a living. Has it ever crossed their minds? Do they think you're just like a gamer? Maybe you're on the computer all day and you're just a gamer and you decided to tune in for this live stream and talking about detailing with your friend Darren?
No, I've been doing janitorial for 20 plus years, and that's
clarify when you say janitorial, because a lot of people could have these visions of you on your knees scrubbing a toilet.
No, I'm past that point. That's how I started though. I started cleaning toilets.
Yeah.
And then worked my way up, and now I'm a director of operations.
Yeah, nice.
For a janitorial company.
I wonder if you had to guess, Sean, would you ever said, I have cleaned toilets to make a living?
No, but
No?
I know you have. You told me.
Okay.
I know
I
you.
have told you.
Yes.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
remember that conversation, but yeah, it wasn't my primary job. Really, what it was is when I first got married, I worked full time. I was actually, if I'm going to be very specific, I was working as a customer service rep for a medical supply company, and then I got fired because it was a dysfunctional company. Anyhow, so then I ended up working for my father-in-law, who owned Great Dane Los Angeles, which has nothing to do with dogs, has everything to do with semi-trailers. Great Dane trailers are like the Mercedes, maybe I should say Cadillac, because it's domestically made of trailers, big, long, 48-foot to 53-foot trailers,
Yeah.
So I worked there, and I started in the mechanics department. And then I worked up into the parts department, and then I worked into the sales department. But when I was I was probably there maybe 4 months, and I thought, man, I need some side hustles here. And so I approached I don't know, could have been the general manager of this place. It was a big lot. It was a 5-acre lot in the city of Industry, which is still part of LA County. And I took on the whole cleaning of the facility there. And there was 3 buildings there. So that the whole sales department and the main headquarters, you could call it. Then they had a separate parts department. And then they had a whole massive mechanics where they had big, massive bays that you could literally pull these trailers into. And so I was in charge of cleaning every night, 5 days a week after hours. So I had to clean toilets, scrub floors. We're talking about lunch rooms I had to clean. And
Yeah.
by the way, like the demographic of this place is all blue collar, not all, largely blue collar, working dudes that are pigs. And I had to, clean up this stuff. So I did vacuuming, dusting, you name it. And that was my side hustle. And then I noticed, like, wait a minute, they've got some gardeners taking care of the facility, the actual landscaping. And I thought I could do that. So I took on a third, and I did that on the weekends. And so I was
Nice.
I was a busy dude. Carlos
Cool.
Lozano. What's up, guys? What's up, Carlos? Welcome. I don't recognize that name. Do you, Sean?
No. Welcome to the channel, Carlos.
Yeah.
And actually, we should take advantage of this moment to tell people about our channels, since we have new
Okay.
people in here. I'm gonna
So
switch.
yes. Yeah. Do you want to do it, Sean, or do you want me?
No, you do it.
So Sean and I both have YouTube channels. Sean, there it is. Shine Like a Pro AZ. Oh, dude, did you realize the ripple effect of this?
No,
What are you going to do now?
no, it's okay. I still have a clean company in Arizona. I'm still running it.
Okay, so we got Shine Like a Pro AZ, and AZ stands for Arizona.
Yep.
And then, so Sean is streaming from his channel right there. And Sean's channel, in simple terms, you could call it my channel as a Cliff Note version. So Sean takes my long form videos and slices and dices them and performs his editing magic on them. So you get short form content all about detailing. That is what Shine Like a Pro AZ is. And then there's my channel, which cool. You got my analytics up. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Were you able to, how were you able to pull that up?
Just go to your, from my side, you go to, I can go to anybody's channel and look at their analytics.
Oh, really? Kind of peek behind the curtains, huh?
Yep.
So my channel is more what you would call the long form, the comprehensive, in-depth, deep dive tutorials, at least most of them, on detailing related topics, techniques, products, you name it. So that's to clarify how this operates. So I am streaming on my channel and Sean is streaming on his. And I personally, because I am on the observer side of the end, Sean is at master controls, I don't know who people are, which channel you guys are watching from. Can you see that,
Let's just
Sean?
say the vast majority is your channel.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have no idea. Anyhow, so Nightbot said he's a human. So cool. Glad that you're did I have a good week? Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Okay, so Humberto, now from Arizona to Iowa. What's the abbreviation for Iowa? IA?
IA, yeah.
Yeah. I guess IO was taken. Like, why not IO?
I have no clue.
I can't even think of a state that would have IO. That's weird because it seems like the default is to use the first two letters of the spelling. Did you have a good week, Darren? Yes, in simple terms, I did. I live a pretty simplistic lifestyle. Work at the computer. Laps at my pool in freezing AF water. I mind you. Oh my gosh, it is so cold, but my body is acclimating to it. And then more work, and then gym, and then more work, and then yeah. So happy Valentine's. Yes. I have no female companion. Well, see, there's a whole big story next to that, Nightbot.
If you paid Darren enough money, he'll be paid Darren enough money. He'll be your companion.
It says you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on how good looking you are, Nightbot. It will determine how much money you have to pay. Here's a new name. M. Jordanus, God 23. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, wait. M. Jordan is God 23. How about that?
Yep.
Is Michael Jordan, is he number 23? I am not. I'm sports illiterate, guys. Sorry to disappoint. That is not my deal. So Michael Jordan is God 23. Do I believe in ceramic coating? Yes, I do. But Michael Jordan, it depends on what you mean by believe in. So I believe in the science of it. I believe the industry completely hypes it up. And what I mean by that more precisely is they use terminology or jargon or labeling that is ambiguous and misrepresentative. So I also believe in that. And it pisses me off, and it's so aggravating. And they throw all kinds of terms out there, like they describe the hardness factor of it, which none of us lay people even understand. Mohs 8. Okay. Anyhow, so yes, I believe in it. But like anything else in life, not all ceramic coatings are created equal either. Now we got ceramic sprays and ceramic waxes and ceramic coatings that come in a spray bottle. And it's like, it's just the industry has gone wild. You know what? This is funny. Here's a story. So I think how hyped up our industry is, auto detailing. And it's just a source of aggravation for me because I think about the beginner that's trying to wade through all this marketing hype and just how frustrating it must be for them. And then and occasionally I bounce to other industries where it's even way worse. And one of those industries is the cosmetics world for women. Oh my God, women, they are so gullible for one. The garbage that they are willing to buy, like the industry has special creams for every part of your body. Like you can't just have a special face cream. Never mind the anti-aging cream, the will help reduce fine lines cream, the will help diminish pores cream, but they got special creams just for your neck or just for your butt and thighs to help reduce the unwanted cellulite. I mean, it's so insane. And these women buy this garbage. Anyhow, that's my little one of many probably. Humberto, well, we hope you had a nice Valentine's Day, Humberto. I don't know. Do we know if Humberto's married or not?
I don't
or has
know.
children? I don't remember. I don't know if we know that. Laughing my ass off. Well, I hope you still have a little ass left, Nightbot. And if you have laughed your ass completely off, I'm sure there's a cream in the cosmetics world that will help you restore that ass. if you're willing to spend $150 and slather this stuff on your ass every night before bed. Bingo. So, sup first. Apparently, Umberto, you get around, buddy. Like the world seems to know you. Yes, they called Michael Jordan the Black God. Yes, I know enough about Jordan to know that that guy was truly an anomaly, like
Yeah.
a true phenom. And I've seen enough. Like I've never actually sat through an entire basketball game and watched it, but I've seen enough clips where it's like, just it truly is remarkable. The Eagles humbled the Chiefs, and I'm so glad. Well, we are glad that you're so glad. Taylor Swift got booed. I saw that part, which I was glad about that. Like I'm so tired of hearing her stupid name. Trump was saluted. Yeah, he was saluted and cheered. Yes. Ceramic coatings with TiO, titanium iron oxide, graphene coating, etc. I know, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's
Yeah.
why are you laughing suddenly,
Because
Sean?
I'm just thinking about like all the big words they use, in chemicals and bottles and products.
Yeah, I know. Titanium iron oxide. Like seriously. So no longer is SiO, which is the elemental designation. I don't know what you want to call that for silicone. Actually, it's ceramic. And that's what's funny is the minute you look up ceramic, that's where everything falls apart because ceramic is like this catch-all type of compound that can mean so many different things. But the industry calls it ceramic, and we're all led to believe like, oh, ceramic coating. And I think probably the person, I would love to know who really came out with this concept originally. For example, if you go far enough back in time to these non-stick coating, these cooking or coatings that they put on cookware, and they called them Teflon. And this is going back over 30 years ago. Teflon coating, the ultra non-stick coating, and then they segued into ceramic coatings. So if you did a deep dive, like for example, if you looked up on AI, Sean, and you looked up what is ceramic coating, and you put SiO2 next to it, and you just find it's just a cluster F of
I gotta log in.
they also come with Teflon. Yeah. I don't see Teflon around much more any longer. Teflon, actually, I do have a web page about it. Teflon is a brand name that was developed by the DuPont Corporation. There's a really long technical name associated with it, but Teflon's the shortened version, and they registered it. This is the first time you've signed in from this computer, I'm guessing, Sean?
No, it's because I'm in a different state. That's why.
No, really?
Yeah. All right. What's the question?
So put in, please teach me what SiO2 ceramic coating or ceramic, just put ceramic is. Let's see here. Oh, see, it must know you. It does, because you have all your previous chats saved.
Yeah. Of course.
And that's what's weird is these AIs, they now learn and remember things.
Yeah, that's what it's artificial intelligence is supposed to learn.
Well, but the original versions didn't. They had no memory. So every time you entered a new query, it was a total do-over. And it was very frustrating because there was no memory. They couldn't reference anything. And so every single time you made a query, it was a blank slate.
Yeah.
Is SO the same as true ceramic coating? Is a major ingredient in ceramic coatings, but true ceramic coating often contain other compounds like, oh, there it is, titanium dioxide. I think Umberto said, yeah, iron oxide. I suspect this is what he means. And polymers. See, there's another word, polymers. That is an overused word that means nothing. Poly just means many. MERS, meaning it's kind of like saying, talking about facial tissue. Like here in the US, we say, oh, do you have a Kleenex? It's like, well, Kleenex is a brand name of facial tissue. It's like, oh, well, our facial tissue, it's like, hey, facial tissue is probably made by 100,000 different companies, and they all have their, whatever ingredients. Is it going to be cotton fibers? Is it going to be all synthetic fibers? So in my opinion, polymers is the equivalent of saying, oh, well, facial tissue. Well, you need some facial tissue. It's just a catch-all phrase. Anyhow, same with ceramic, it's so
He's
much
saying that
jargon.
he's a Ceramic Pro brand.
What's that?
Ceramic Pro brand is what M. Jordan uses.
Oh, is what I use. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. Look it up or go on to Amazon, see if they have it there.
It's right
Does any
here.
of those say Pro brand? And graphene, that's yet another phrase that they're using. And graphene is a real thing. I would say that graphene is more specific and real than ceramic is. To me, ceramic is just a big, massive, it's kind of like saying plastic. Ooh, plastic, you got to get a plastic coating. It's like, well, what does that mean? Plastic can come in like endless formulations. Soft plastic, hard plastic, pliable plastic, thick plastic, thin plastic. I mean, it's a joke. Oh, somebody got me started. Who did that? Somebody got me started. Ceramic Pro brand. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's not coming up, is it? Did you do a typo? Glide Coat, G Technique, CarPro, Gion. Yeah, we're not seeing it. Michael Jordanis God. Doesn't know how well because he also speaks Spanish. It doesn't know him well because he also speaks. Yeah. Yep, he is bilingual. I think doesn't Umberto speak like more than 2 languages? Or maybe I'm commingling it with how many countries he's been around to. Graphene ceramic coating for cars. Let's see here. I can't even see what brand that is. And then Adams Polishes has advanced graphene ceramic coating. So not only do we have a ceramic coating, but it's a graphene ceramic coating, and it's also the advanced formula versus the intermediate. I'm not even going to be able to say that word. How about just basic? So it's not basic graphene ceramic coating, it's advanced. Like advanced algebra versus basic or pedestrian algebra. So I wonder if they have a pedestrian formula, anyhow. It doesn't. Yeah, that brand's not coming up.
It's all right. We can move on.
Ceramic hair dryer. So that's funny. I wonder why they see how generic that is. So you put in Ceramic Pro brand and look at all the different ceramic stuff that comes up, from cookware to a hair dryer.
Just tell me what it was. I skipped
it,
but here, okay, Umberto, yeah, that's right. 1 second, and then 1 second. It's not popping up. Oh, here it is.
You find it?
No. Anyways, move on to the next one.
Actually, it's cross-site cookies and cache. Yeah. I just call it. It has lots of shit that helps the clear coat not to fade from the vehicle, so it doesn't oxidize or look bad. There's your ultra technical description to your customers or people that ask, Umberto. That's perfect. Oh yeah, Spanish, English, Portuguese, French, and learning Russian. Wow, Mr. Overachiever in the audience. All right, the rest of us can feel less about ourselves now, Mr. Overachiever Umberto. Good for you. Ceramic Pro 9H, top coat, rain, and plastic.
Yeah, I looked it up, but I can't find it.
Well, see, he's saying Ceramic Pro. Ceramic Pro is actually a brand, I believe, and it's spelled, I think, with an X. Ceramic. See,
Oh,
this is spelled.
ceramic.
Yes,
Like
maybe it's just
this?
Ceramic Pro, but they wouldn't be. I don't think they'd be on Amazon. I doubt because I think they're licensed.
Oh, okay.
You'd have to go on the internet and look for that one.
Okay,
But
okay.
there is, I think I know what he's talking about now, Ceramic Pro, and you have to be a distributor, I think, to buy it, which then
Uh,
leads me to think it's not going to be on Amazon.
got it.
Am I getting this right, M. Jordan?
There it is. This is it's from Austria.
Australia?
Oh, yeah, Australia. Yeah.
Dave Bukes. I don't know. Tell me, Dave, did I pronounce that correctly? Hi from Australia. I just use Meguiar's spray wax. I just keep it simple. Well, good for you. I love. Now I'm curious which spray wax you use though, because Meguiar's does have a lot. So they got their express wax. There's, I think it's they call it their synthetic express wax, and that's what I started using. Man, forever ago. And then they've got, like, for example, their Ultimate Quick Wax, which is probably the same exact stuff as the Express Wax. See right there? Oh, no, that's hyperdressing. Look up Meguiar's. Shoot, I think it's, see, it's spelled, it's not spelled Express. It's just spelled Express, Xpress. I believe, and it comes, so they have it in their professional detailer line, and I think they call it their synthetic express wax, but then the Ultimate Quick Wax, spelled incorrectly, spelled phonetically.
Yeah, he just said he uses the express spray wax.
Yes, so if you spell it like he spelled it, it should come up, and it will be in the gallon size. Not the hyperdressing.
It's right here. It's right on the right. Synthetic express spray wax.
On the small sizes, yeah.
Yeah.
Click on it.
Well,
That's what I introduced to this world, this detailing world, and not only for the paint, but then I showed people you can use it on leather and all the materials inside your car. I thought, this does not make sense. If it really is a wax, how am I able to do this? I just know it worked really well. And by worked well, meaning it was easy to use, it removed light dust, and it created a very subtle sheen to materials on the interior. But it was great on the exterior because this way it was kind of like a plausible deniability. You could tell your customer, well, yeah, I waxed your car. I waxed it with synthetic express wax. And it was just so easy. It's like, oh my gosh, is this really applying any form of real protection? Inquiring minds want to know. I know I did. But anyhow, plausible deniability. Hello,
Got more
Mike.
comments.
Good day, Mike. Is there a ceramic coating that does not turn yellow after a few weeks when you do the headlight restoration? Well, I would say yes, but it kind of seems like, based on that description, that you might be commingling things. So, for example, because I've restored my fair share of headlights, I never used a typical ceramic coating on them. What I would use, though, is a clear coat from a rattle can. And not all clear coats from a rattle can are created equal. And I suspect that some of those will turn yellow, but I can't imagine. See, what's weird, because I had a problem one time where I used a clear coat from a rattle can, and I sprayed it on the headlights after I restored them. And as it dried, it shrank. And so the clear coat cracked, had like 1,000 little cracks in it, because when I coated it, it was wet. And then as it dried, it shrank and shrank and shrank. So it put all these fissures or cracks into it. And it was a nightmare to get off. And I guess my mistake was I did not get a dedicated clear coat that was designed to go over the polycarbonate plastic of headlights. So I suspect that there must have been some kind of chemical bad reaction as to why I got the results I did. As far as ceramic coatings turning yellow, I've never heard anyone having a problem with that, but I've also, yeah, I don't know. They're putting ceramic coating on everything: windows, glass, paint, chrome, wheels. So I've just never heard of anyone saying that. So I don't really know what to say to that.
Well, we have more comments, so
No clue. A guy did it for me, made my 2016 black paint pop. Cool. Yeah, the Express Wax. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Still pops till this day, living in Michigan. Ooh, Michigan. Get some nice winters out there. He's by you, Sean.
yeah, he's not that far from me.
Learned Spanish, English, and French first at school, then Portuguese because some of Brazilian neighbors and at work. Then after divorce, going out with Ukrainian ladies, so started learning Russian. You are a world traveler there, Umberto. You're going Russian now and Ukrainian. Well, yeah, line up the languages. I mean, more mental bandwidth for you, man. I'm envious. Chemical Guys products. I was just having this discussion. I was just kind of mentoring a beginner just this past couple days, and he asked that same question. What do I think of Chemical Guys products? Well, I haven't used all of them. Any of the products I have used, I have no complaints for them or no complaints with them. But with that said, it is truly a retail product line. They're not packaged, labeled, or priced for the professional detailer. It doesn't mean some of those products would not work at a professional level, because they will, but they're not packaged nor labeled or priced for the professional level. So if you were to go through large quantities of them, it become very expensive. So if you accept,
you would go broke.
yeah, if you accept the limitations, meaning there's plenty of things, like let's say, for example, a tire dressing, you don't really have to, be able to split the atom to formulate the best tire dressing in the world. It's really a very straightforward product and process. But when it comes to, for example, paint correction and polishes and compounds and sealants and waxes, that gets a little more technical, as in you're going to have to know your stuff. So that's where the fork in the road would come if you were going to compare Chemical Guys products to what you would label as professional grade products. Yeah, I use it on everything. I pretty much am right there with you, Dave. I don't know if the only thing I don't use it on is truly porous material, which I'm sure you would agree with that. I'm not using it on carpeting or cloth interior, but any non-porous material, whether it's the textured vinyl on the interior to leather, any of the veneers, metal veneers, wood veneers. I mean, it's really great. It's like a spray detailer, except it's got, wax in it. Carlos Lozano, I use it. Majestic Solutions headlights coating or Meguiar's headlights coating. All right, good to know. Thanks, Umberto. Ceramic coatings aren't made for the headlights, not just for optical clarity, but also can't stand heat from sunlight and heat. Dos segundos. What does that mean? Two something, right?
2 seconds.
I wonder what is up with the 2 seconds.
Like maybe in the conversation, just give me 2 seconds. I'll be with you.
Yeah,
I'll be with you.
Maybe instead of one, never mind.
Or 2 seconds. 2 seconds in the bedroom.
No. Yeah, that would not 2 seconds, not on my watch.
Yeah.
A lot of detailers are using PPF on headlights, as they should. You know what? I'm curious why they do not put PPF on a windshield. I've thought about this for years, and it just doesn't make sense to me, because what a way to save your windshield from rock chips, and you could get it replaced. I don't know if it's maybe it's illegal, which it would be, I suspect. And therefore window tint shops and film shops won't put it on, or maybe it interferes with the wiper blades. and eventually it abrades it, unlike glass. I'm curious though. So
Here's somebody.
21 versus 15. What, Sean?
He's new.
MWAP. Yeah. Hey, MWAP. Why don't you tell us what that acronym stands for? So 21 versus 15. That's a big question. And funny, you asked this question, even though it's not funny. So I was polishing a car this past week. I inherited a car from my daughter. She finally got her brand new car, and she kicked her old Mercedes to the curb, which is me. And I was polishing the paint, and I was using both a 21 millimeter and a 15 millimeter. And I'm thinking, because we talked about this before, Sean, because
Yep.
MWAP's not the first guy to ask about this. And I have decided that I prefer the 15 millimeter, the shorter throw and the smaller polishing pad on it. And I just, and the reason I came to that conclusion is because when you go from like a 5.5 inch polishing pad to 6.5 inch and possibly even a 7 inch on the bigger throw that also has a bigger backing plate, it just seems like it's just more friction than I want to deal with. And I know it requires more load on the engine or the motor. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that I prefer the smaller polisher. And I'm always have been of the opinion that beginners prefer the smaller polishers because they feel that they have more control with it. So even as a seasoned detailer, paint correction guy, whatever you want to call me, I would, if I had to pick, because I've got a ton of buffers, all different sizes as far as the different throws, I'm going to pick the smaller version. So there's your answer in like 150 words or less.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, we found the broke guy in the chat.
Glenn G. Is that new? I think he's new.
Yeah, but who are we referring? Who's the broke guy?
The chemical guys.
Oh, sorry, Glenn. Your humor was lost on my.
I got it. I got it immediately. So
Yeah, there's also Car Pros D-Light, also for headlights. Yep, have not heard of it, but thank you, Umberto. Thank you, everyone. Well, thank you, Carlos. Ultra Fit Windcrest Evo windshield protection film. Exactly what you just said you wanted. Haha. Interesting. Yeah. So what took so long? And I've never heard of that. Ultra Fit Windcrest Evo. Why don't you look that up, Sean? See if that is something. If that's a DIY moment. Oh, looky, you bounced on my website.
I will eventually. I'll get to the end. I haven't forgotten about it.
It doesn't matter whether we get to it or not.
Ultra Fit.
Ultra Fit. And I suspect when they say fit in this context, it means how it fits logistically, as in rather than a short version of fitness. Ultra Fit. So did it come up?
Yep.
Windshield protection film. See, I wonder how popular it is. All these ideas I've had all these years, but not one of them have I been able to materialize into a reality. Only to have someone else do it. The new revolution. That's funny. All these like VLT, TSER, UV, blah, 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 blah. Interesting. Well, good. I would use it. At least I would try it. I wonder how it holds up to windshield wipers. But here in California, like, I mean, there's plenty of years I don't even use my windshield wipers. Part of that is not because it never rains all year long, but it's so infrequent that I can choose to not have to drive in the rain if I want to. Goes on super easy. I wonder if it's reusable, meaning does it have a true adhesive, or if you lay it on wet and you squeegee out all the air bubbles, but you can reuse it, reposition it if you want to. I mean, you don't have to read the directions, but I'm curious.
You should buy it and make a video about it.
Yeah, can't wait to do that.
I know you can't.
2 seconds You mean in the bedroom, Umberto? Dang, that's a quickie. Yes, yes, that is a quickie. That'd be called a two-pump chump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think a detailing company should ever offer clay bar without polishing after? Yes, would be the simple answer, Mr. Piss Yourself. That's funny.
And he's new too to the
Yeah.
chat. So
Yes,
welcome.
he
Welcome to the
showed
chat.
up all shredded and swole,
Mm.
Mr. Piss Yourself. So yes is a simple answer because most cars are not going to be black. In fact, most cars are not going to be that dark as far as the paint goes. And I know what you're getting at is because claying will abrade the paint. I have quite a few videos on this. And the manufacturers all claim, at least they did back in the day, that it will not scratch your paint. And I always called BS on that. So if there's not much fallout on the paint surface, then you're going to use a clay bar and you're not going to have much abrading whatsoever.
Yeah, but then I mean, I always clay cars and then I would wax them afterwards.
Yeah, but he's talking about polishing, unless he's commingling that term. I think that's what he means, though, is should you clay a car and then wax it without polishing it to remove any of the abrading marks? I'm having to read between the lines because it's not a really.
I think he means paint correction, like a version of it, like you're using like the dual action to polish it with a. Not
Well, I
using.
think I don't know. I'm reading it as in meaning polishing the paint. Like, why would you polish the paint after you clay bar? There's going to be a reason, right?
Yeah, maybe Piss Yourself. You can clarify. Do you mean to clay the car and then polish it, as in like using a dual action, and a DA and like some type of like kind of like a paint correction, or do you mean clay bar and using wax?
Yeah, what I think he means is just claying the car as part of the detail process and then immediately waxing it without polishing it. So I'm guessing that he's referring to the fact that in most cases, you're going to put some type of abrasions in the paint when you use a clay bar. Therefore, should you officially polish that paint to remove said abrasions? It's like, well, yes, maybe. I mean, ideally, you would want to, but if you're not charging enough, and then it could go into a question about ethics. Is it being ethical where the customer doesn't know any better and you just put abrasions into their paint and you should therefore polish it to remove those abrasions? It's like, well, I could debate that on both sides of that that point easily. So the simple answer is no, but it's a case by case. Depends on you, your customer, your expectations, your standards, their expectations, what you're charging. Are they even working under any are they an informed customer? Do they even know what's going on? Probably not. Piss Yourself, it is a must. Well, Umberto says it's a must. So Umberto, MWAP is MW Auto Parts. Cool. When Crest Evo is wet applied, as I thought. If you have done PPF, you can do this install, and yes, you can reposition it, but you wouldn't want to or really need to. Yeah, I wouldn't suspect you would. I was just curious, and I'm not sure why. I guess because it looks like it's a do-it-yourself deal, which you suggest it is because it's easy to do, and so I just speculated based on other things from the past that you can reposition these clear films. So cool. MW Auto Pros. Claying is marring the clear coat. Yes, it is. But the question then becomes, Umberto, so for example, let's say you and I are in front of a customer, Umberto, and I quoted a price for a wash and wax, or a wash, clay, and a wax. And you're quoting a price for a wash, clay, polish, and wax. And Johnny customer in front of us he likes my price and he doesn't like your price. And you say, well, wait a minute, he's not polishing and I am. And I say, no, I'm not polishing because you don't need to. And then Umberto would come in and say, well, yeah, you do need to, because when you clay it, you're going to put some abrasions. What did he call it? Where's his last comment? I don't remember what exact word he used. Abrasions, something. He didn't say scratching, but the point is yeah, but that's where I would then say, yes, it will put some in there, but the customer may not care. And so I would ask the customer, do you care? And of course, the customer is going to be like, well, wait, what do you mean abrasions? And then I'm going to show them what I mean. And it's probably going to be a lighter colored car where you're not really going to be able to see with your eyes what the abrasions are not. Therefore, if I wash and clay and wax that car and I'm going to do a little test spot, and I tell the Johnny customer, it's like, okay, now look at your paint and now feel your paint. And he's going to go, wow, that feels great. But what about those abrasions? I said, well, if you look hard enough, oh, wait, you can't see them. But if you go grab a magnifying glass from your house and you want to look for them, you might be able to see them. But I promise you, your paint is filled with endless scratches already. So then it becomes like, do you want to pay for me to do some paint correction on your car when your eye is not necessarily going to be able to see the difference, or you're not that concerned by it? You're really concerned with getting something good enough with protection, and you want to feel your paint feeling smooth, but you don't want to pay to have it polished. So that's what I would say. Then you have to enhance the clear coat. Yep. I mean, there's a lot of moving components to that. If you're removing overspray, then you have to compound and polish. Maybe. Once again, I could have that same argument. I've done plenty of overspray jobs where I didn't polish afterwards because it was agreed upon between the customer and myself. And I've done it for many paint companies also, because they seem to rarely want to cover the neighboring cars. And then they get a call a few days later from a very unhappy neighbor that those paint companies got overspray on. Exactly. I just came from one of your videos regarding the marring caused by clay bars and wondered how to sell this service with subsequent paint correction. Well answered, though. Thank you. Yeah, I hope that answers it for you, because I could sit there and I could take both positions, and I guarantee I could talk a customer into either position based on how I decide to educate them. And neither of them would be incorrect. It's just, what points do I want to highlight? Because I can make a point and then I could tell or I could explain to the customer how that really is a trivial point, and explain to them that it's kind of trivial, but the customer could say like, oh, actually, I'm not trying to be cheap here. I really want it done at the best level. It's like, okay, perfect. Because once the customer says that, that means I can charge them more. And I'm not trying to get out of work. I'm just trying to get out of work that I'm not going to get paid for. That's the problem. And that's the problem a lot of beginners face, is that now they're giving their work away. So I just want to make sure I'm paid for what I'm doing. So if I'm going to do the paint correction, I'm going to make sure that I have enough money in there and that the customer understands what I'm doing so that they can place a value on it. So if you, in simple terms, someone can't value something they don't understand. And that's why education is important. That's why you want to educate your customers enough based on to what they want to learn. And most of them only want to learn enough, or they only want to learn enough to know how to make an informed decision on how they spend their money. Past that, they don't care. They just want to know it's getting done right, whatever that means. They want to look at it and know that it looks like it was done right, and they want a decent price for that. Past that, it's on a need-to-know basis, and most of them would be like, you know what, I really don't need to know all that other stuff. This is just what I'm looking for, how much it's going to cost. Anyhow, it's not a DIY Ultra Fit only, sells to businesses, dealers. Oh, okay, but it is DIY easy. Okay, that explains it. All right, cool. If I'm using synthetic clay towel, you normally don't mar it. You know what? I got kind of the different opinion, Umberto. And this is going back, I don't know, at least 10 years ago when I think the clay cloths, towels first came out. In fact, there's a company called Granitize. Some of you guys might be familiar with this company. They've been around forever, and they're founded here in California, out of LA. And I was detailing for the general manager of Granitize, and he introduced me to the clay towel. This is just coming back to me now. That's funny. In fact, I just remembered his name, Randy. Can't believe I just remembered his name. So long ago. And I started using that clay towel, and it was cool, and it worked really well. But I just kind of came to the opinion that it seemed to mar the paint up more than a clay bar. But there's so many variables to that. You know, every car is going to be different. Not all industrial fallout is created equally, and not all clay towels are created equally also. So just like clay bars that can come in fine grade or medium grade or heavy duty, I suspect that clay towels, whether they label it or not, like anything else in life, are going to be unique in their formulation. I mean, there just isn't anything in life that is truly going to be an apples and apples comparison, whether it's paint quality. How about the rubber compounds used to make tires, which will affect how your dressing performs? So you can have a dressing, let's say you pick chemical guys, what do they call their dressing? APC? No. What's the acronym? Leather, vinyl, rubber. They have an acronym. For some reason, I can't think of what it is. Doesn't matter. So you can use that dressing on one set of tires on, let's say, a performance, let's say a sports car, a high-end sports car that's got name brand tires like Pirelli, Continental, nice quality tires, and it dresses up amazing. And then you take that dressing to, let's say, whatever, just a POS car with some off-brand tires, and you're like, wow, what the heck? There's no shine to these tires. That's because it's an inferior compound of petroleum and rubber products to make that cheap tire. Point is nothing's created equal. Used to watch you 5+ years ago when I was first learning detailing. Glad to see you doing good, bro. Wish you all the best. Well, thank you.
That's very nice.
Yes, appreciate that. And hopefully I will gain some value from my videos. If I'm using a synthetic clay towel, you normally don't mar the paint, so you can polish lightly. Always communicate with the customer about the service and cost, about expectations. Yes, indeed. You've got to manage their expectations. But if you're not asking the right questions, you're not going to understand their expectations. And customers, they're pretty narrow-minded. They lack experience because they're not a detailer, so they don't understand the nuances of it like you do. Therefore, you're going to have to ask the right questions so you can assess, you can determine what their expectations are. And if you sense any kind of confusion on your part, like when they give you an answer to something and you, like something inside your head is saying, I don't really know if, I'm not really sure they understand. That's the exact point that you need to dig in further and ask a follow-up question so that you really have clear communication between the two of you, so that there is no miscommunication at the end. And by that, I mean they are disappointed because you did not meet their expectations, because you did not understand their expectations. I got 2 year with my clear headlights, still clear. Cool. On soft clear coat, it will always mar, even with some microfiber towels, even just looking at it. Yeah, pretty much like Tesla's. Now, when you have an Audi, that clear coat to enhance is a big thing because of how hard it is. That is true. You know, has some hard AF clear coat is new BMWs. At least the BMW I had to polish on. It was a M2, brand new M2, and my God, was that clear coat hard.
Do you know
That
who
is,
has a? Do you know
huh?
who has a? Do you know who has a worse clear coat?
Tell us.
Hyundai and Kia.
How, like when you say worst, what does that mean to you?
It means that there's been lawsuits because the clear coat is not lasting on them, and like after I think it's like 7 years, the paint is starting to peel.
Oh, as in the clear coat's peeling.
Yeah,
And that's on Hyundai and
and,
which?
Kia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Those damn people, those damn Southeast Asian car manufacturers.
yeah. South Korea. Yeah,
Is which one is it? Kia from Korea?
yeah. They're the same company.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah,
Hyundai and
Hyundai and Kia. I think Hyundai bought Kia or Kia bought Hyundai. One of those two.
huh.
They bought each. Yeah, so the same company now.
So Carlos wants to know what brand you use. Dos Segundos.
I'm sure you'll let me know.
How do you say minutes in Spanish?
Minutos?
Oh, so segundos is seconds,
Yes.
and whatever you said is minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remove clear coat and use Meg's H light coating. 2 segundos means nothing. My name was Dot Silver and just kept the D and the S like the old name. Maybe I'll change it again to something better.
I actually like it. The 2 seconds. So
Yeah.
that's just me though.
I have 4 years of Majestic Solutions headlight coatings. Huh. Right on. Right on, you guys. So
There we go.
Honda and Hyundai are soft. Kia is harder than Honda and Hyundai. Toyota had peeling issues with paint years ago. I'm pretty certain that pretty much every car manufacturer in their history had paint problems at some point. Some of them just decided to fix it sooner versus later. But I don't know of any car company that hasn't had paint issues at some point in their history.
All right, I'm going to show you your website now.
It's going to lead down a rabbit hole. That's fine.
Well, at least people can see it.
Yeah. So best auto detailing tips. This is one of my websites. I've been
One of many.
yeah, one of a few.
Mm.
And this is all geared toward the do-it-yourselfer that wants to learn how to stuff. So I was working on this page this past week, clean car engine tips. And this is all based on search terms that people use, like clean car engine. That's a search term. So if you scroll down, I take you through the steps of how to, first I show you some examples. There's plenty of, I make money and I allow companies to put ads on my website. So there's 2 engines side by side. This is a BMW 3 Series. Obviously on the left is before and on the right is after. But what I was thinking about is the fact that that engine on the right, not only did I degrease it and detail it, clean it, whatever you want to call it, but that's, for example, the word detail. Like, what does it mean to detail an engine? So I prefer engines that really pop. So what I do is after I'm done degreasing it, I use a dressing on it. And I use 2 types of products. One's going to be a traditional spray, you know, like a dressing you would use on your tire sidewalls. So I'm going to spray that. But then I use an aerosol dressing. If you scroll down, Sean, and you'll see the aerosol dressings that I recommend. You're going to have to scroll. Your internet's wadding up on you, huh?
No, it's not that. I just don't know how far to scroll.
You got to. I'll tell you when. That's out of a Cobra, a GT Cobra. These are all engines I did. Yeah, keep going. That's a Mercedes AMG CL63, one of my favorite Mercedes. Keep going. Keep going.
Am I going to the very bottom or?
Well, it's a pretty long. Oh, now you're at the very bottom.
Yeah.
See, your internet is kind of slow, and so it's not populate. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So scroll up a little further. Yeah, right there. So Stoner Trim Shine. I love aerosol dressings because they can reach, and this is both on the interior and exterior. The exterior, there's probably, I can think of 3 different times that I will use a an aerosol dressing. Now, the reason I use an aerosol dressing is because it delivers a fine mist of dressing, which means that it will dress overly intricate areas that would be really impossible to apply a traditional dressing with a traditional applicator sponge or cloth. So aerosol will get in the ultra fine nuances of any type of surface. So I'll use trim shine on the exterior, for example, like on off-road tires where they have really thick knobby sidewalls. I'll use it, which some people out there would be like, why the hell would you put dressing on an off-road tire? It's like, well, welcome to California. I'll use it on front grills or inserts where it's got a plastic, let's say around the fog lights or driving lights. Often they'll have a surrounding material that's made out of like black plastic, but it's got all these intricate patterns in it. Or a grill, I'll use it on that. And then on the engine, because if you look at an engine, I mean, it's just, I mean, endless components, nuances. I mean, it's so intricate. And so the spray dressing, the aerosol is so perfect at really going level 10 with the wow factor. So it's one thing to degrease an engine, and yeah, it's going to look cleaner, but it's also going to just look undramatic.
Darren, hold on a second. Look who's on.
Oh, hey, Greg. What's going on, man? Just did a 3-stage paint on a Jaguar, and the results were mind-blowing. The owner almost cried from happiness. Well, and why did he not cry? Or why did she, like, did you have to like embrace your customer, say, oh, please don't cry. I'm so happy you're happy with the results, but tears aren't necessary in this moment, but I'm so glad you're consumed by joy. So good job, Greg. And 3-stage, that's a lot of stages, by the way. That's a lot of work. At a Kia Sedona 2002 until last year, and the paint was still doing great because I had it ceramic coated and plastics restored with Majestic Solutions. Cool. That's a pretty old car. That one from Stoner's is great for trim maintenance. Yeah, it is. Both interior and exterior, I'm a big fan of it, but I use it very strategically. I don't go crazy with it. On the interiors, though, that was a time saver for me. So let's say I'm running behind time. Let's say I just detailed a BMW. It's got black leather, black interior, and I want to create a settle shine to it. And it's going to take me probably close to 10 minutes to wipe it down with a cloth of traditional dressing on it. But with the trim shine, I can spray everything and just really cut to the chase. Yes, there's going to be a little overspray, but I'm going to wipe that up like on the wood veneer or any metal veneers or the plastic gauge covers, but it's worth it. Paint correction just evokes so much emotions, right? When it's done correctly,
Yeah.
pun intended. Yes.
Because Darren, you've had, sorry, I mean to cut you off. You've had I know you have a video where somebody did a paint correction, they messed up, and you had to fix it.
Probably it's not coming to my mind right now which video you'd be referring to, but it wouldn't be the first time, or it wouldn't be the only time. So yeah.
I think it was a truck, and I remember you were talking about
black truck. I bet.
Yeah,
Was it the one where I had either my wife with me or a student, or maybe both?
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was because I've done a lot of your videos, but I do remember you talked about it. You said they messed up big time.
Yeah,
and you had to fix it.
And that can mean a lot of things. Like if it really sounds familiar, and I think I know what you're referring to. It was a black lifted truck.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yep.
Yeah, and not only did they just mess up as far as leaving, well, they just didn't do a good job in general, but they also left compound or polish, whatever they were using. They just made a mess of the truck. They left it in the seams. Just really, it was quite a bit of work. But yeah, I had to fix it. Hey, Sean, we're at the 1 hour. How are you holding up?
I'm fine. I'm good. I got no time limit, so
yeah.
It's up to
I
you.
got a few more time. I mean, I got a few more. How are we doing on? We got any new? And you guys got any last questions you want to throw our way?
Yeah, take
We
advantage of this moment and ask us many questions you guys want. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
yeah. Anyhow, so what do you, Sean? Because you're just first setting up in your digs. Are you just have you already eaten dinner? Like it's 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock there, right?
No, 9 o'clock. It's 2 hours ahead.
Oh, two? Is that
Yeah,
because
the time
they don't
change.
do daylight savings
They
or
do. They do. When the time change happens, it'll be 3 hours ahead.
yeah, so they don't do it then there, right?
No, they do. They do. The only places that don't do it is Arizona.
Well, then how come you're not 3 hours ahead of me right now?
Because I told you when the time changes in no, you're right. It is 2 hours. I don't
You
know.
must not be far enough east for the
Yeah, because
third hour.
no, you're right. So it's Midwest. So then when the time changes next time, it'll be 1 hour, I think.
No, it'll be the same because we both change the time. So what time is it there right now?
9 o'clock.
Okay, so you're officially 2 hours, and you know they do the daylight savings, so that
Yeah.
says that they're on what do they call it, mountain time?
Yeah. No,
Because I'm on
Central Time.
Pacific.
No, I'm in Central Time.
Oh, so it's central is what they call it. So
Yeah,
Pacific,
because
Central, and whatever east.
Arizona is Mountain Time. So you got Pacific Time, Mountain Time, Central Time, and East Coast.
Well, I think there's only three time zones because in New
That's,
York they're only 3 hours ahead of us.
yeah, there's Mountain Time. Mountain Time is Arizona, which is there's no daylight savings.
Okay, maybe that's the what mountain times mean is there's just no daylight savings, but there's still a time difference based on
Yeah,
anyhow. So
an
you're
hour ahead.
2 hours ahead. All right. So you're
Yeah,
on central time. I thought you were far enough west where you were 3 hours ahead. I thought methinks that you thought the same thing.
yeah. No, it's 2 hours ahead and then 1 hour. Yeah, it makes sense because I have a friend in the East Coast and he's an hour ahead of me.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
this?
Well, let's take this last question from Dos Segundos.
Did we?
Or
Did
okay,
we?
this one.
There's a couple
I
more.
jumped up ahead.
Yeah.
Paint correction is worth it depending on the customer. When I ask the customer about maintenance and respond that they will take it to the car wash, I just put them back on earth because why pay? Yeah, and I do the same. And that's applying a voice of reason to your customers that just don't know any better. So much if you are not going to maintain it properly. Yeah, exactly. And I've used that many times to actually get out of polishing a car because I could tell based on I could read the customer pretty well, and I could read them well enough to know that when I drop a big fat price to do paint correction on them, they're going to freak out. So therefore, I don't want to do polishing unless I'm being paid really well to do it because it is back breaking work. Yes, it's very rewarding when you're done, but to get there, it's just a lot of work. So therefore, if I'm not getting paid accordingly, I don't want to do it. And I certainly don't want to, cut myself short as far as what I'm paid to do it. So if I sense that a customer is probably not going to be into it, I'm going to tell them like, hey, do you really want me to achieve perfection on your car while simultaneously reducing the thickness of your clear coat, which is not good? Not that it's not going to be bad because I'm polishing it, but you want your clear coat to be as thick as possible. So you have to accept that if I'm polishing on it to achieve perfection, it's going to thin it out. So therefore, does it make sense to you in your world based on the money you have to pay me and the fact that you're not going to be able to maintain it moving forward? Does that make sense to you? And it's always unanimously no. Therefore, I got out of polishing and I found that often I made more money by educating my customers in a way that they came to that same conclusion, which is no, I don't want my car polished. It's like, cool, because I don't want to polish it anyways, unless you're going to pay me a fortune to do it. It's like painting your car and taking it throughout a road with lots of debris and tar. Yes, not the winning combination. What's the longest time it took you to do a paint correction, and how much did you get, Darren? That's tough. Like honestly, when it came to paint correction, as I got later in my career, I was charging, I would quote it. Let me think, what would I quote it? Because every car is different, of course, as far as size and the expectations of the customer. But what I wanted to know is that I was going to make a minimum of $75 an hour. And so I had to have enough experience to know how long it was going to take. But I also know how people are really limited on their ability to scrutinize the paint, which means they're going to walk up to their car. Typically, I'm looking for a customer to wet himself because he's so like Greg, and saying that it evoked them to tears. Well, I usually say I want my customer to wet themselves in delight, like a little puppy that's so excited that he can't control himself, and he pisses all over himself and you because the little puppy's so excited. That's what I want my customers to be. So the point is they're going to walk out and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then they're going to walk around it and they're going to be looking from like 3 to 5 feet away. They're not going to crouch down and see if I took the rocker panels to the same level of paint correction as the hood. So I knew that there was ways of wiggle room. And so I'm going to quote them a price based on how long I anticipate it's going to take me, and make sure that I'm going to be making at least $75 an hour. So it was anywhere from between $75 to $100 an hour. There was some jobs that took me multiple days because I'm not going to tool on a car for 8 hours straight. Just wasn't going to happen. So occasionally I had to.
But what's the longest though? Or like what in top of your head, if you remember
6 hours.
What's the job that took you like, okay, 6 hours, the longest job ever?
Well, that's if meaning under normal conditions. Like I rarely, there was, like I said, there was some times where it became a multiple day job, but that was the exception to the rule. So if you're asking for the rule, like I would have to really think deeply in my memory bank as to what job truly took me the longest. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to really think hard what it is. But generally, they took anywhere from 4 to 6 hours for paint correction. And that was based on real world expectations. And what I mean by that is this was not a show car that's going to sit in a garage and never be driven, or it's not going to be a trailer baby or whatever they call them. These are cars that people had the money and they really wanted to see what I could do with it as far as a buffer goes. And they were not going to be fanatical about maintaining their car moving forward. So I would do a single to 2 stage paint correction, and it would take me 4 to 6 hours based on the car. And I always quoted it. So I was making at a minimum $75 an hour, and based on the customer or the car, many times that was going to be $100 an hour.
What's the most you ever made at a job?
I don't know, $1,400. I mean, this is a long time ago. It was an overspray removal, and it took us. There was me and another guy, one of my employees. It was near the fairgrounds in Costa Mesa, which you probably are familiar with, Sean.
Yep.
I'm surprised this popped into my head so quickly. That was a beast. It was on an SUV. It was either a Cadillac short, the 4-door, but the short version versus the long version, kind of like the Suburban versus the Tahoe. And I think it was a Tahoe. I know it wasn't a Cadillac. So it was the short version so it was a Tahoe 4-door, dark blue paint, and had white or light colored overspray on it. And man, what a bitch that was.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good money day, but that was a lot of work.
There we go.
I had done a minivan. It took me 8 to 9 hours, 30 hours exterior, and 5.5 hours interior because of the smoke. Oh man, dude, that sounds like a nightmare. I mean, that is a lot of work. And trust me, I did 30 plus years of that, where it's just like, oh my gosh, like the days were long. It's just a lot of work, but it's rewarding work. I mean, I love seeing the end results. It really is cool. Okay, let's wrap it up there then,
Yeah.
Sean.
We'll be on
And
next
thanks.
Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday, you guys. Sean will be even a little more settled in. And thanks, you guys, for tuning in. And hope the rest of your weekend is swell. How about that? And Sean, thanks for your efforts on your end, and good
Yep.
luck with the upcoming week. And I'm sure you
Yep.
and I will be talking.
We will.
All right, party people. Peace out. Same bat channel, same bat time next week.